Well, hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. Here as we sit in the month of November, just a couple weeks shy here of Thanksgiving. Actually, it must be even closer than that, Artie. It's Artie Tafoya and Mike Parker. We're hanging out here today, once again at the Mechanicsburg location of Appalachian Brewing Company. But yeah, man, time flies when you're having fun, and Thanksgiving being around the corner, I know it's one of your favorite holidays. It's actually a great time to eat, drink, be merry, and work our way into Christmas. But what are you thinking, Artie? What's your Thanksgiving plans? Looking at at this point.
Well, we're definitely going to get the girls are going to be with us, and my mother-in-law comes down from Rhode Island, so
nice.
So it'll be all of us together, and it's just a great time. I love having family back together.
Yeah.
With the girls living away now, and so it's great to have them back in the house and us enjoying time together. I think that's probably the best thing about it.
Right. There's a lot of stress. So people often talk about stressful things and, new job, moving, having a baby. Those are the top three stressful things in life that people will say are the most. But when you get to the age where you're hosting a lot of holiday parties, that can become kind of stressful too. Like when you have a lot of family coming in and dealing with it's a lot, it's just like being a boss or something at work or just existing at work is managing personalities, right? It's like, I just got to know which buttons not to push or which ones might be kind of fun to push when you have the whole family together.
Yeah. Well, there's the same rules you have at the bar, right?
Right.
You don't talk about a couple things, and you don't do that with family either nowadays.
Right, religion, politics, and who knows. And
one time we were taking a road trip, and I thought it would be fun to do Festivus, where we air our grievances. And that it worked out horribly.
Yeah.
We haven't done that since. So with Christmas coming up after Thanksgiving, remember not to do that.
Yeah, it's a funny episode of Seinfeld, but
it was.
I don't think people who put that into actual practice, that's not for me. I'll just say that's not for me. You know what is for me, though? This pint that sits before me right now, Artie. I have the, here we go. Cheers, my friend. Oh, good to get another podcast on the record.
Oh, man.
So I have the Ragged Edge Espresso Stout, which we're sitting here on a Tuesday evening, but I've actually been drinking this beer for about a week now. I popped in over in Harrisburg and picked up some my son had a big sleepover after their middle school dance, and of course, you've been to my house and I got the big room with the bar in it. So I cleared out all the alcohol, but I replaced it with Appalachian root beer. And I had a bunch of 13-year-old boys hanging around the bar drinking Appalachian root beer, right, with bottles, thinking that it was pretty cool, actually. It was fun. All the other parents who stopped by got some pictures. But I picked a little stuff up for myself, including the Ragged Edge, because I didn't want to miss it. This beer, it's an espresso stout, kind of speaks for itself. It is, honestly, in my opinion, and I would say this about to anyone, and I have, this is my favorite coffee type beer ever. It's so good. And probably the reason, and I'm not a coffee drinker, I'm not a hot beverage drinker really. Like occasionally around, Christmas or something like that, certainly have a hot chocolate or something, but I'm not a hot coffee in the morning type guy. It just, for some reason, makes me sweat. It gets me all nervous or something. I don't know what it is. Gets me going.
A little jittery.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm anti-caffeine. I'm just not a coffee guy, but I love the coffee in this beer. And where does this sit alcohol-wise? Around 6 or so?
Yeah, it's right around there.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So anyway, that's it's Ragged Edge Espresso Stout. I got it in cans. Obviously, you can get it here on tap while it lasts, the brew pub. Seasonal?
Yeah, seasonal. And I'll tell you why. I mean, we've made this beer for quite a while. Mm-hmm. We teamed up with Ragged Edge Coffee Roastery. So, and the guy just happens to be one of Bruce's, our production manager / brewmaster. He wears a lot of hats here at the company, and he went to school with the roaster at Ragged Edge, and they really didn't know each other. So Bruce was going down there to source the coffee, and
it's in Gettysburg, right?
Yeah, it's in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So he went. He's contacting this guy, and he finds out that this guy's somebody who went to school with basically throughout his school years, and so then they got together, and then it started into a whole process of, hey, let's I want to get some espresso in. I want to get some cold brew in. We want some ground up too. And then they put it all together and created this really cool recipe for the coffee portion of the recipe.
Yeah.
And man, it's amazing.
It does. It's like, it just bounces off the palate. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like, if you like, some people would say that they like coffee and they like beer, but I don't want coffee in my beer. I would say, try this.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, it's such a delicious flavor, because I've had coffee beers that taste a little too much like beer. Like, and I'm saying, it's like, well, if it's like, you wouldn't take a little bit of coffee and dump it in your beer. Okay, that's not what this is. This is a crafted beer that it's clearly a stout, and it's got just the most delicious coffee taste. I mean, everything about it, the nose, the taste on your palate, and the aftertaste. I can't get enough of it. I honestly think it's a great beer, but I probably could get enough of it. Cause
don't drink too many before you go to bed.
Yeah, because I imagine some of the caffeine carries over, right?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of caffeine in that beer. I don't remember exactly how many milligrams there is in there. We calculated it 1 year, as somebody asked us, and there's a good amount. I think about 200 milligrams per
that's
glass.
pretty good.
So that's pretty good. Yeah. Something like that.
So anyway, Ragged Edge Espresso Stout. Get it while it lasts here. It's definitely really good. And what do you got over there, Artie?
So I'm drinking the Chasing Shadows. It's our fall hazy. Man, is this beer just look at how opaque it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just beautiful. Nice head on it. Nice lacing on the side. It's got some great flavor to it. I like it in my hazies. I like a little bit of that background, just a hint of background bitterness, and this one it's perfect, along with all those citrusy flavors as well. So this is a really good one, and it's great this time of year. It's one of my favorite beers.
And you're making that year round now, right?
No, Chasing Shadows is our fall specialty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's our fall hazy.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have Sigma Oasis as our
Gotcha.
year-round.
That's right. Yeah. The Chasing Shadows has the Sasquatch.
That's right.
Okay,
that's
gotcha.
Right.
Like on the can,
that's a specialty beer.
Beautiful. Because if you see Sasquatch, well, you're lucky if you only catch his shadow.
Well, he drinks this now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sasquatch.
He's right this way. Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, it had his picture on it. So.
Nice.
What else would he drink?
I don't know. Who the heck knows?
Espresso stout? I don't think so.
Honestly, when it comes to like the whole Bigfoot Sasquatch thing, part of me really wishes that it does exist or it did exist. I don't want to. I mean, sure we could talk about this, but like as a hunter, I spent a lot of time in the woods. Like ever since I'm a little kid, and it's not something that I ever think about. But you're like, okay, so I could see this. The thing that gets me is there's supposed to be some sort of like almost a magical part of Sasquatch, right? That's the part that kind of gets you. Is like, okay, so,
yeah.
But I could imagine there's huge deer that run around that I never see. Sure. And they're in the woods. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why couldn't there be this really smart like thing that could just evade humans by living in the mountains somewhere that we'd never find them? But then technology has evolved to the point where there's trail cameras, and it's not like the trail camera where you got to go check your batteries and or check your memory card and stuff. And now they just go right to their cellular,
the cloud. Or
yeah.
Whatever, right?
So the point is, if something goes by, so there's two things I don't really believe live in Pennsylvania: Sasquatch and mountain lions. But but occasionally,
I don't want to run across either,
no.
Mike. But here's my thing. I think a lot of those items and the lore of that comes from people's imagination, right? You thought you saw something.
Yeah.
And did I just see something?
Yeah.
I think I saw something, and who knows if you saw something or not.
Yeah.
Do you ever think you see a ghost? Every once in a while?
Every once in a while, you don't know what you're...
What was that?
Exactly.
That was like I felt a little wind come by me or something. What was it, So I think people's imagination sometimes comes up with all these different things. And it's great. I love the lore of things like that.
Me too.
We were up when I was in Scotland, we went to Loch Ness. And
all day long.
And if you stand there and look at the lake long enough, you see something.
You swear you saw something.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, right? No, that's hilarious. But like, it goes beyond that though, because like, the Pennsylvania mountains or Appalachia, like where the Sasquatch, there's many vast parts of the forest and things like that. But I feel like it could have got caught on camera reliably at some point, and it would be on Facebook in 3 seconds, and whatever. It's either some guy buying the costume at Spirit Halloween, or it's the real deal. But I'd like to believe that maybe there's a chance, or that it did exist at some point, and time has moved on. But then there's the other like part of it. It's like these like the ones, the Everest. Like there's a version of Sasquatch, like the monster or whatever that lives up in like the big mountains. Like what's the ride at Disney World? The Yeti or whatever, right?
Is that a
Yeah.
You're talking about a cold weather.
The cold snow, the one that lives up in the snow cap of because I think that one is much less likely to be found.
Is it the one in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah, the one, the Bumble, right? Yeah, I fully believe the one that puts the very convenient for putting the star on top of the tree.
That's right. He never did it for my tree.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. I love that stuff. That stuff's good.
We got lost there a little bit.
No, that's okay. I enjoy that. I enjoy thinking about it because you just never know. But no, I like that's the great part about craft brewing is the imagery on labels and what makes it memorable. And so that's what I remember that beer by. That's the Chasing Shadows. It's not called Sasquatch, hazy IPA. It's called Chasing Shadows.
Shadows.
And you figure it out, and that's kind of fun to talk about. So. Anyway, so much going on here, Artie. You guys have actually, I don't know, when I talk about Thanksgiving, the best part about having, family and stuff come in is like, obviously you're sharing food. And over the years, we've talked about different ways to, kind of spice up a meal or something. I mean, obviously everybody's going to make a turkey or maybe whether it's a whole turkey or just a turkey breast, or there's going to be some ham or something at the table. But you can also make lots of foods where you're mixing in not only maybe pre-gaming Thanksgiving, like a little bit early there with a cocktail or a beer.
Day drinking.
Yeah. Or getting ready while mom's slaving away at the because you try to help mom and then mom doesn't want your help, so you got to go and
I cut the turkey, and that's my only job. My wife doesn't want to do it. She's like, if you just cut the turkey and just stay out of the kitchen the rest of the time, you and I will get along perfectly.
Right.
And I'm good with that.
So my thing is, that's a perfect opportunity to share some something new, a beverage, something, or if your appetizers are going around, maybe it's something that you combined, got a little creative with, made a sauce or incorporated a little bit of beer or one of your craft sodas like into the recipe. One of the things that water chestnuts with bacon wrapped on them.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be a perfect example. That's something that like my wife makes. And I said to her, the sauce that you're making, why don't we put a little bit of like root beer in there? Like give a
little bit of sweetness.
Yeah, because you're putting some sugar and stuff in there on that candied bacon that wraps around the things. Yeah. Imagine making that with a little bit of like the Appalachian root beer. Make the Appalachian root beer candied bacon wrapped water chestnuts.
That's a long name for that.
That would be. I'd have to call it something different.
Give it a nickname.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you drinking? What are you pre-gaming Thanksgiving with, Artie? And is there some new stuff coming out here? Maybe not even the beer realm.
Yeah, I mean, we've got all sorts of great things going on right now, Mike. The Trinity Flavors brand that we acquired this year. We have, of course, the Transfusion, which is a golfer's drink. It's grape and ginger. Sort of a cocktail, vodka cocktail.
Right.
We also have the espresso martini, which is an 8%, a little bit more of a sipper, of course. You can pour it right into a martini glass. And then we have our two new ones that we have coming out. We have the lemonade, vodka lemonade, which is more of a summer drink. I get it.
Yeah.
But, it's great.
It's light.
It's light and refreshing. So if you're going to have one or two before you start going at it a little bit, maybe that's a good one, right? We also have a hard iced tea coming out probably in the next week.
Nice.
So by the time people are listening to this, I think it'll be out. And that's a 4.5% alcohol drink. Just those teas, you can't have them too high in alcohol because they tend to it'll overpower the tea flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to keep it a little bit lower, but that's all right because that gives somebody a nice low alcohol drink as well.
Right.
And you could mix that with the vodka lemonade if you want.
Oh,
And
like
that
an Artie Palmer.
Like an Artie Palmer there.
An Artie Palmer.
Yeah, that's right, of course. And then our last one, which I think is this going to be great, not a year-round drink, is our Skinny Orange Crush. It just is, low cal, 6% alcohol, but the flavor's great. We use natural orange in it, and it's really nice.
That's Orange Crush is a great flavor. That's a favorite. When I used to live down in Maryland, and that seemed to be a staple at a few of the places. I think one place claims it as the original, Orange Crush or whatever. But
where was that?
Harborside in West Ocean City.
Okay,
yeah, it's a great bar, But like other place over the years, we just buy our own, because that would just be. And I mean, we'd buy the stuff to make it. So like the regular, depending on type of vodka you're using, you can do regular Orange Crush, or you could do like the creamsicle crush with like the vanilla vodka or the like marshmallow vodka type thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's great. And I have lots of family members who would love that. And the one thing is when you buy fresh oranges, because that's a great way to do it, it's unfortunately becomes kind of time consuming and messy and honestly expensive, because you don't get that much juice out of one orange.
No, right.
You know what I mean?
It's a half of orange is a drink, right?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe not even. And that's why I love these. In fact, I'll crack one open here. When you talk about Trinity flavors, you're talking about your canned RTDs, your ready-to-drink cocktails. So this is the Transfusion. This is off like a golf course favorite for sure.
That's right.
For
Yeah, a lot of people. I found out about it on a golf course. And that's where I learned about it originally. Never thought we'd be making them, but now we are. So selling a lot of them. I mean, the golf courses in the state love them. They're great. Everybody's a little bit slower right now, but I see this really picking up and becoming a big drink for us in the next year.
Those are good. I don't know what it is. It's like Concord grape flavor, so it's like that regular. It's like the purple grape juice, right. Not white grape juice, purple grape juice, and then. Vodka and ginger? Is that what it is? Ginger ale?
No, it's really we use ginger extract. So it's just like our ginger beer. Yeah. But much lower level of ginger, of course. You want it just enough to balance out the grape. Mm. That Concord can get sweet.
Oh yeah.
So the neat thing about the ginger is it really balances it out and dries it out a little bit.
The good thing too, and honestly, I mean, it's great right from the can, but it like. For instance, on a golf course, if like say, these are not necessarily professional drink makers. Oftentimes it's somebody working a part-time gig. They're driving around with a tub of ice and some grape juice and some vodka on a cart. And maybe it's off a little bit, but by the time the ice melts a little bit, maybe it mellows it out a little. So if the flavor is too strong in a transfusion, it usually, add a little bit more ice, it melts, because you're out there in the summer heat usually. Right. But I think you guys got this perfect.
It tastes great, yeah.
That's awesome.
Great.
And you just
put a koozie on that and sip on it as you're going around, and
done deal.
And you'll have a much nicer round for sure.
I love that. That's great, Artie. Those are awesome. So Trinity flavors, canned cocktails. That's it's under the Appalachian Brewing Company umbrella. But,
it's in our spirits line. Mm-hmm. It's made here in our Mechanicsburg plant and sold all over the state and Maryland now too.
That's delicious. So here I am drinking. I have espresso stout in one hand and a transfusion in the other. Call the Uber.
I think we're going to be having dinner before you head out.
Probably. No, it's all good. So there's so many other things going on. I think we have plenty of time to talk about it, but I want to preview it, and then when we come back, we're actually gonna talk a little bit more about it in depth. But the one thing that you guys are trying to do right now, also by extending, you've got a popular brand and it reaches a lot of people. But recently, there was another thing. Unfortunately, what was in the news was the hurricane. There've been a couple of them, but the first round, the one that hit.
That was Helene.
Right? Yep. Appalachian, North Carolina, and there's a connection to that. And you guys are doing something to use what you do best here, which is brewing beer, and to actually help people who are affected by Hurricane Helene.
That's right.
And what is that?
So we were contacted by Dissolver Brewery down in Asheville, and they were looking for breweries of a mid-size who could do a a fundraiser by producing a beer, and the beer's called Higher Calling. It's a wonderful, hazy style IPA. Probably the best selling beer right now. That's why they do that. It is just a really nicely balanced. Tasted it the other day. It's still in the tank, but it's coming out soon. So we'll have it out here in the next week or two. And all the proceeds from that go to the Dissolver Brewery. Created a fund to help other breweries in Asheville, but also help other people in Asheville. And we're really excited about being a part of that.
Cool. All right. Well, Higher Calling Hazy IPA. Still in the tank, but it's coming out soon, so you're going to be able to check that out, and hopefully maybe we'll I know that we're so busy. We're going to try to squeeze another podcast in here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll get through Thanksgiving, and then we'll try to get something in, of course, before Christmas, but hopefully we have some of that around. We can even give it a try.
That'd be awesome.
After it's actually in, available to drink, so we can let people know, how good it is, but also the good that it's doing. So when we come back, we're actually going to share something. You got a little bit creative, and we have there's actually a song that goes along with this beer, which is funny, and you can tell us a story about that.
All right, sounds good.
And how you wrote a song in 3 seconds when we come back.
I'm a musician now, Mike.
On the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. For everything ABC, come visit us at abcbrew.com.
All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Tafoya. We're hanging out here at the Mechanicsburg Brew Pub this time around, and we're talking about some things that are coming up, leading up to Thanksgiving, and what you can do, to give thanks. And it's really what, we talk about that, and we don't want to come off as cheesy, but it really is. I mean, the holidays are like a special time, and we're used to being generous and giving around this time, and also now through Christmas. And one of the things we're talking about that we're going to pick up on again here is this effort with this new Higher Calling hazy IPA that is in the tank right now. But it's actually I guess you call it a collaboration beer, but it's really a benefit beer.
Yeah, it is. It's a benefit beer, and so Cliff Plank and our brewmaster Cliff Plank, he heard about it, and he brought it to the table and said, "Hey, we should do this." And I was like, "Yeah, no doubt." You see all the time on the news that people are still struggling down there, and
right.
And some of the breweries, of course, aren't reopened yet because they were devastated somewhat. I mean, 10 foot of water rushing through your brewery, it never can't be good, right?
Right.
I remember in Harrisburg, we're prone to flooding there on Cameron Street because of the Paxton Creek. So we know floods, but we've never seen anything like that, and where just a wall of water comes through, But we used to talk about, we have a flood plan, and one of the parts of the flood plan is that we are to fill all our tanks with water. If we think that a flood is imminent, we fill all our tanks to the very tip top with water for a couple reasons. One is they won't float, right? They won't wash away because they're super heavy for water. And number two is we'll have a lot of good, clean water once things happen, so we could still possibly produce or and continue to keep manufacturing going. Not that we would be able to go full out because who knows if the water's sanitary or not, or other situations like that. But that was part of our plan. So when we heard about this is a natural for us. We're Appalachian, right? Mm-hmm. Appalachia goes from basically Georgia to Maine. And we're right in the smack dab in the center of it, but so are they in a lot of cases. So the other day I was talking to my buddy Brian, and he's like, "Hey, I want to show you something. I wrote a song for my company." And I said, "Oh, cool." So he pulls up this website. He goes, "Download this app on your phone." So I did, and he goes, "Okay, tell it what you want to make a song about." So I was thinking about this Higher Calling. I said, I want to make a song called Higher Calling, and I want it to talk about how Appalachian Brewing Company's making a beer, and we're doing it for North Carolina, Western North Carolina Relief, and all these other things. And I hit send, and 3 seconds later, it basically wrote an AI song. So are you going to play a part of it here?
Yeah, I got it here. So I have it hooked up so we can both hear it. We're going to play it off the phone here into a microphone that's at the table here with us. But yeah, so this is the creation. We think we're good to play this, and this podcast gets flagged.
I don't think it's trademarked. I don't think so, but we'll see.
So anyway, this is called Higher Calling. It's the song to accompany the Higher Calling Hazy IPA.
Turn cold. We're called to rise, stand up tall for those who lost it all. In the storm's dark shadow light, hand in hand we stand and fight. Hope's a beacon shining clear, we'll dry their every tear. Higher calling, hear the cry, lift the fallen where they lie. Hope's a beacon shining clear, we'll dry their every tear. Higher calling, hear the cry, lift the fallen where they lie. Appalachian brewing love, together we rise above.
Dude,
isn't that cool?
it's legit.
I know. So I tell people now I'm like a magician, no, a musician, or both, right?
That is wild, dude.
And it's just crazy. And I love that last line. It says, Appalachian brewing love, together we rise above. And how cool is that, right? And it's just like, I can't believe, AI is so amazing. And we just, as a company, I just feel like we just can't use it enough right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're using it for scheduling. We're using it for, trying to reduce waste in the kitchen. We're doing it to all sorts of different reasons, and it's really helping us a lot become more efficient and effective as a company. So that's really cool.
Hold on, here comes the hook, I think.
All right.
Nature's wrath can't break our chain. Strength in numbers through the pain. Every sip a helping hand.
Every sip.
United we make a stand.
United we make a stand. Don't sing, man.
Turn my mic down.
Together we rise above. Higher calling.
Okay.
Pretty cool, huh?
It is cool. So how many times has Carrie had to endure that?
Oh, she loves the song. Believe me.
That's awesome.
She's only heard it 10,000 times. No, I'm just kidding. Really, I shared it with a couple people, and they're like, "That could be a hit."
In
our
incredible.
country, it could be a hit.
Honestly.
So I don't know. I don't even know exactly how it works with. I think it writes it, just generates it. Like you see that AI will generate artwork for you.
Yeah.
And it's not it's just taking a bunch of ideas and I don't know, and it smushes it together and comes out with this beautiful painting of some sort. And, I sort of think that, although it's the future, it never is going to match up to being art like an artist, right?
There's always going to be something a little weird about it, right?
Yeah,
Possibly they didn't quite get right.
And I think, if it's this good now, how good's it going to be in the future?
Yeah.
But I think also, we hear a lot about it in the news and stuff, and a lot of people are for it, a lot of people are against it. But those people that are against it and that are for it may be for it and against it for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So I think all in all, if it's able to help us become more efficient and more effective as not especially as a company, hey, I'm all about it. Right?
Agreed. Yeah, honestly, that's really cool. My questioning, you're right. If I just put a song in there about, playing Super Mario Kart at college and drinking a bunch of natural light, I wonder if it would come up with the same song, or if it would
you could tell it what genre you want to use.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
No. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I do. I think I'm going to be playing with it all night long. But no, anyway. So not to make light of it. It's amazing. I mean, here's the thing. The thought behind it is outstanding. I get into that thing earlier that I was talking about. You know, the holidays bring out a special part in people, and we want to be generous, and we want to give, and we want to, you know. It's not about what we get anymore. It's about making other people feel good. That's the gift, you know? Yeah. So this is an opportunity. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are still having a really, really difficult time down there. I mean, that area was just wiped out. I don't think unless you've been there or, you know, I don't think there's enough news coverage of it, of what is really going on. But so, you know, you know it. This is a local connection. And if it's something that's in your heart and you wanted to give in a way that also tastes good, and maybe craft beer is your thing, and you can find a way to be generous through this, check it out. So pretty soon, right? We'll be seeing this very soon.
Higher calling. You're going to see it in all of our locations, and we have some wholesalers who are interested in taking it as well. So you might see it in some of your beer stores as well.
Beautiful. Well, that's a great thing.
And we'll let you know. Keep an eye on our social media. We're going to be pretty active about this so we can get it out, get it going, and get some money down to help those people down there.
Love it. Great job, Artie. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that. And that's just an awesome thing. And you guys have done things like this in the past. And I just always admire the effort. Again, like you said, you guys it's a commitment to the community. And if you want the community to support you, you got to support the community and be part of the community. And that's ABC's always been about that. So very cool. Hey, listen, there's also a lot of other cool things going on that I wanted to talk about, like the spirits. Spirits are in the can, but they're also in the barrel apparently here. You guys have this new feature here. So if I'm coming into Mechanicsburg, so let's start it off. If I'm familiar with your line of craft spirits, you got the vodka, several flavors of vodka. You've got the straight bourbon whiskey. You've got the gin, a few others. But now there's this, the one that you had recently was the coveted cash.
That's right. That's I don't know how long ago we started this process.
In a few months.
A couple years.
Years, yeah.
Well, a couple years for the barrel room.
Gotcha.
So we've had a barrel room here in Mechanicsburg where we buy barrels and we put them up there. We will take our spirits and put them into different barrels, and then we're starting to. We have a flavorist. His name's Jack Flynn. He'll take barrels and actually taste each one and go, you know what, we're going to use 50-50 on this one and that one. So we have one of the new ones we have out. It's going to be out here soon for the holidays. Is called Toasted Honey. So it's a new toasted oak barrel. So brand new toasted oak barrel with 5-year bourbon in it, and then we take a honey barrel, which a honey manufacturer used it to age honey.
Oh.
So it has those really little bit of sweet overtones. Mm-hmm. The toasted oak is more vanilla. But so he took 2 of those and basically took those 2 barrels and blended them together 50-50. And so we're calling it Toasted Honey. And it is amazing. Wow. If you like a bourbon, you know, I like an extra aged bourbon. I don't know if you've ever had a bourbon aged in sherry or port casks or like that. You tend to get a little more of the vanilla out of the wood, right?
Right.
And you get a little sweetness, maybe some of the grape fruit, not grapefruit, but grape flavoring,
right,
from the sherry being in that cask, right? So it's pretty cool. You know, I love them just because I was in Scotland last year and I got into a lot of some of the extra aged bourbons, what they call scotches there. But we have that. We have the Toasted Honey. We also have one in Amburana. Amburana is a Brazilian oak or a Brazilian wood. I'm not sure if it's an oak type wood or not, but it gives off flavors of gingerbread cookies, like gingerbread. Right. It's got that. It's a little bit of spice, spicy, but with also those undertones of vanilla, right? And you're still going to get that from the wood. And then the third one that we have coming out that should be out for the holidays is our apple mead. So if you know what a sizer is, you ever heard that term?
No.
It's a mead made with apples. So
okay, as opposed to honey.
Well, it's honey and apple.
Okay.
So every mead is made with honey.
Yeah.
Some are made with, it just depends. Braggart is made with malt and honey. So it's like a beer mixed with.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Sizer is a apple mead, and we got a barrel and took our 5-year bourbon and put it in for 200 days in that apple mead barrel. And that's awesome too. And each one of them is going to give you a totally different flavor, although we may be starting with the same base 5-year bourbon.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
So when I talked about the coveted cash, that's one of these barrel-aged bourbons that you did,
That's
right?
our experimental series.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So if I come into the brew pub, or maybe, are you selling that in any of the stores? And
It's not in the state stores. We did get our rye whiskey into the state stores just recently. So if you see that out there, that's something you might want to grab for the holidays. But no, the only place you can get the coveted cash is in our location.
Okay, gotcha. So, and then how do I taste these, like the Ambarana and the apple mead? How am I going to get my hands on that toasted honey?
So you'd have to taste those here at either Mechanicsburg, the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new room up front that is our spirits tasting and sales room. And then we also have the same thing down at our Gettysburg location. So you can go to either one of those locations, taste it and buy it. We have gift packs for sale, 3-bottle gift packs where you get a deal if you buy the 3 bottles. And you can also do, gin, rum, and vodka if you want in there too.
Oh, nice.
It's just a different price. But we have all that available now, and we're really excited about this new venture, and it's just going great.
Sounds good. Yeah, you showed me the barrel room probably a couple of months ago, which was really neat. I was impressed. I knew that you had something going on up there, but it's kind of a secret, I guess. Not a secret for you, but I didn't. It wasn't open to the public at that point. So
it's sort of walled in, and it's perfect for aging because it gets hot and cold a little bit.
Okay.
So at night it gets cool, and during the day it gets hot because it's really not temperature controlled in terms of air conditioning or anything. So it's on the front side of the building, so it gets the heat in the evening, and then overnight it cools down. And that's really good because what happens with the barrel is when the barrel opens up and expands, it sucks in the bourbon. And then when it contracts, it sort of spits it back out.
Oh, yeah.
So it's constantly sucking it in, giving it back out. And that's what gives off those vanilla type flavors and other oak type flavors.
Because, whatever was in there before was in there for years.
Oh, could have been years. Could have been, yeah. Some barrels, what's amazing to me, when I went to Scotland, they actually use Kentucky bourbon barrels to further age their scotch. So if you go to McCallum's, they'll buy our barrels. Another interesting part of that is they buy them not put together. The barrels, they'll break them down, palletize the wood, stack it up, ship it back over there, and then their guys will put the barrels back together there because, of course, you're shipping air, right?
Yeah, right.
So
Makes
it makes
a lot more sense.
Space.
Space.
But you're able to, all the barrels that we saw, or most of them that we saw, were all Kentucky bourbon barrels.
That's cool.
Over in Scotland.
Wow.
And that's where they do the extra aging. So if you're going to buy a 10-year, 12-year, 18-year, 20-year, it's probably going to be in Kentucky bourbon.
Have you gotten really into the bourbon stuff through this process? Were you more, I know you've always liked bourbon, and as do I, but I've talked to friends all the time, and especially, I don't know what it is. Since I've gotten older, I know that there's young men out there too that are into bourbon. But for me, it wasn't really anything that I kind of got into until recently, probably, the last 10 years or so. But there's people that say, yeah, you know what, it seems like kind of tired of the beer for now. A glass of bourbon would be good. Maybe that's how it kind of, or kind of a warmer, right?
Right.
It's also hey, warm you up. And then from there, who knows? But have you gotten really into the bourbon? Through this process, or were you always just more into it?
Well, I used to drink a bit of bourbon back in the day. Probably 15, 20 years ago. My good buddy, Jim, we used to share, bourbons and try different stuff. And I sort of stopped. I think it was about, I don't know. I think I turned 50 or something, or 45 or something. And I sort of just stopped until last year when a good buddy of mine, Jim Kelly, called me. And he said, hey, I'm going to go to Scotland for my birthday. You want to go? And I said, well, when are you leaving? He said, we're leaving August 9th. I said, well, that's my birthday. I said, I got to go now. So we went there, and we went to a bunch of distilleries, and I got back in love with it. And I sort of fell back in love. And now I'm enjoying it more because I learned so much more about it when I was there.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting part of it. But, you just got to know how you like it, right?
Right.
Because it's not the same. I mean, if you have it over the rocks, it's different than if you have it up. If you add just a couple drops of water, it changes it. It opens it up and makes it come out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So there's all sorts of different ways that you can taste it and test it, and figure out which way you like it the best. But and do you like newer? You like something that's 5-year? You like something that's 2-year? You might like a 2-year rye better than a 10-year straight bourbon whiskey.
Right.
You just don't know, right, until you try it. But everybody's palate's different. And, I've sort of fallen back in love with it. I will say that.
That's pretty cool. I like to see, it's all part of like the experience. So it's hard, you just go, I have a friend who is in particular really into bourbons. And, you go to his basement bar and there's like a lot of stuff there. And I'm like, and I know he gets excited when people come over because he gets to
he can share it
a little bit. And then you get, because then it's like me and you are sitting here just like we do over beer, but we're sitting there and we're like, so what are you getting out of that? And he likes to hear what you're getting. Sure. And I like to hear what he's getting. And when you're actually having an intelligent conversation about it, as opposed to, there's a different atmosphere. Sometimes you're just slugging beers in the parking lot before the football game. And then other times you're sitting there having a conversation about it. And I don't know how many times I've just even had a conversation with someone about beer and told them the difference between, an ale and a lager, and it blew their mind. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just basic stuff. Yeah. And then we start getting into bourbon and like what kind of barrel this came from and how old that was. Or I'm like,
sure, yeah.
You can definitely go down a rabbit hole, but you're a YouTube video away from finding another way to try something, and I noticed that there's a lot more like gift sets and things like out there for like dads and stuff, and like the smoked, like the ice cube makers and the smoked bourbon setups and things like that you can get.
Those are great gifts because you can't have enough big round ice cubes in your razor.
I know.
Carrie's like, how many big round ice cubes do we need in here? I'm like, I don't know. What if I have friends over or something?
Yeah, no, you got to have a few around. It's pretty neat though. So anyway, that's cool. So I would recommend that you come in here if you're in Mechanicsburg or Gettysburg.
Yeah, Gettysburg as well. Yep. You can also order. We have a QR code where you can go in and order, or you can just send what you want, or if there's something that you've heard about and you want it, send it to orders@abcbrew.com, and we'll send you a link for payment, and we'll work it out to make sure you get it.
Gotcha. So you're just like bottling it up on demand kind of thing, then? Or
no, we have plenty in stock.
Yeah.
So
great.
Yeah, especially leading up into the holidays, I asked the guys to make sure we got pretty well stocked and everything, and we are. So, and then next year, I think we're looking to add in possibly. Now, this has always got to go through our compliance and also through all of our marketing team, but we're looking to add in a dark rum next year, and then more of a botanical gin. We want to do a real cool botanical
juniper
gin.
Or something? Or,
well, all gins are juniper, but
okay.
but more of a citrusy.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be
more of a citrusy orange, a little more orange, and
that's great.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of things.
That was a drink that I found at some point or another. I don't know. So, we're gonna wrap things up here in a second, but you just sparked something. So you know how like when you're young and broke. And you're like,
I try not to remember those days.
Right. But man, you have like Captain Morgan, right? And I'm not saying that Captain Morgan is like, high end or whatever like that, but it's as a college student, for instance, or somebody in his early 20s, you've got the option when you want some spiced rum, right? So it would be like Captain Morgan, or right next to Captain Morgan would be my good buddy Calico Jack.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times before, You know, like we would pregame the party with a couple of guys sitting around watching TV with Calico Jack, right?
Calico Jack. Huh?
And then there's like some you know, some of these gins out there too, and some of them have like a blue tint to them, or even if the liquid isn't actually have the blue tint, the bottle's like a blue tinted. And I know that I can't remember the name of the brand name, but it wasn't the expensive one; it was the cheaper one. Right. And so I would get that, but like, you know, it wasn't just the way that I enjoyed drinking the gin was with some like a little like a dash of Sprite and like an orange slice. And that would be refreshing.
There you go. That's
yeah.
Sort of,
And that's exactly almost what you described. And I'm like, that sounds really good.
Yeah. We're also going to be doing some aging with our barrels. We're going to be aging some of the rums ourselves, and we can do specific aging for people. We've had some people contact us about doing specific aging. Can you age us your rum in this and that? You know, some people who are real big rum heads, they actually know what they want, right? Yeah. There's rum bars out there as well that you see out there. There's one by King of Prussia in Philly, and so that's one of the things that we're looking to do. More aging, more you know, just these guys are young, they're having so much fun, and I'm the beneficiary pretty much.
I'll say, man, that's fun.
Yeah,
the one thing about rum is when you go into like if you've ever been to Jamaica or the Caribbean and like everything's rum, right?
Right.
And you go there and you're there for like, you know, 7 to 10 days, and you know, you're like, oh, another drink with rum, and then you're just like constantly drinking rum, and you don't even taste the rum anymore. Then you get to the airport, and then you're like, well, I'm going to get that cheap bottle of rum like that I can carry through and save a few bucks. And then you're like, I'm just going to the next week, even after you're home, you just want to drink rum, and then eventually you're like, I can't drink this anymore.
Drink more rum. Yeah, rum makes me fall asleep. So
really?
Yeah, so if I want to fall asleep, I'll just drink a rum drink, but of course not with all the sugar most of those drinks have.
Oh yeah, like yes,
right?
for sure.
But a good you know, rum and Diet Coke or something like that. So
that's cool. Well, listen, Artie, it's been great talking to you. We've got the. I'm trying to bring up the song. Oh, yeah. Come on, play us out. Play us out with some.
Oh, sometimes it goes back to another song.
Does it? Okay.
But you hit just the top part.
It definitely. Oh, don't worry about it. Here, we're gonna get this baby. All right, I'm just gonna go back to the link.
You want me to sing it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah, your mic's hot. Go ahead.
I don't think we should.
Wait a minute. Oh yeah, love it.
I'm like you, Mike. I'm a better talker than a singer.
Oh, but I'm the best singer when I'm in the shower, in the car, stuck in traffic. There it is. Probably turned it down. Okay, boom. Yeah.
Yeah. The song I wrote, the only song I've ever wrote.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. It's Mike, it's Artie. We're having fun this week. Hopefully you enjoyed our banter.
Chink.
Thanksgiving just around the corner. Hope you have a great time with your friends and family. Fill the belly. Pre-game it with a couple of ABC beverages. Have some fun. If you need any more info, of course, abcbrew.com. For Artie, it's Mike. We'll see you next time on the Appalachian Brewing Company Podcast.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.
Shining clear, we're driving.